Hello everybody and welcome back to the world's worst Let's Play Art Edition. In this one we're going to be going over the Fakemon and my inspirations or ideas and things. We're going to jump around this page a lot because these are not in order of when I did them. We're actually going to start with Dunsparce. So I love Dunsparce and I feel like he needs more respect, and he's just so criminally just underdeveloped. Like, there's nothing special about him. He's super rare. It's dumb. So I was like, what if, pardon me, I gotta put on some chapstick. What if I made him a bug type? You know, he's like a dragonfly, because if you look at the original design, he's got wings on his back and it doesn't use them. And I was like, so here's my idea. What if long ago, instead of burrowing underground, because he's not even ground type, like I see a lot of people do normal ground, and I'm like, but what if he didn't? What if instead of his body adapting to underground, what if his wings adapted to flight and he took on more bug-like qualities? So I was like, that'd be cool, like a dragonfly, and I really want him to have that dragon evolution. So I was like, here we go, let's make him a dragonfly-esque kind of thing, and I actually really like this design. You can definitely tell it's Dunsparce. I had one of my friends looking at him like every other step of designing, and I was like, does this still look like Dunsparce? He's like, nah, do this, do that, do this. And I'm like, alright, cool. And this is the final product, and I'm actually really happy with it. I like the color scheme and everything, because you got somewhat of Dunsparce colors, but the majority of it's green. And I really like it. Of course, it'd be primarily bug type. And then you've got Dargonscore. So it's a dragon, obviously, bug dragon, which it doesn't exist yet. I wanted to do like a wasp, dragonfly, dragon type thing. I wanted it to have a giant jaw. And the colors, honestly, I'm not crazy about. I really wish I changed the hair, dorsal fin things, and I'm not crazy about the color scheme because I think it really should do more like this to do it justice, but I just couldn't get the angles right on it. So I settled for what this is. But honestly, I still kind of like it. I could definitely see something like this in Pokemon with a few changes here and there. But here's the just general Dunsparce to Dargonscore, and the name Dargonscore. So Darner Dragonfly, dragon with like a corruption of dragon. I really wanted to do a lot of different things about Dragonfly, Dragonsaur. I forget where I got the score from. Where did I get that? I can't even remember now. I had this whole thing thought about. It took me literally days to get even this name, and I'm not crazy about it because there were just so many things. I think it was Scare. That's right, Dunsparce. So I wanted to do Dunscarce. So instead I did Dargonscore, like a dragon scarce, or Dunscarce, and I was like score, like scary even. So like a lot of thought goes into when I make a fake Pokemon. I try to think of like different inspirations, especially with the naming. You have to include various different little things that you can do, and I really enjoy making fake Pokemon. It's a lot of fun. Let's see, so we're going to back out of that. The following that was Torkoal, I believe. Yeah, so I really like Torkoal. Again, criminally underused Pokemon. It needs more love and attention. So I was like, what if, because in the Pokédex it talks about them being hot because they have to have a solid fuel source of coal. And I was like, what if in this region they ran out of coal, so they had to start digging deeper into the ground, and they just eventually dug so deep that their arms and legs and body were then changed to adapt better, and where they had the holes on their back, instead of hot magma, instead they start eating the dirt and ground and start spewing it out of their backs in sand spurts. And I thought that was a really cool idea. So I have these. This is like one of my favorite effects, just having the sand look like legitimately three-dimensional. I'm really proud of this one, and my buddy was like, give it a red outline so it's kind of still like Torkoal. So I thought it was a really cool thing. I don't like the legs as much. I couldn't quite get the scales right, because what this is based on is actually like oh, I forget what the name of the turtle is, but it's a turtle in Florida that actually burrows into the ground and like hides in little dens underground. This is kind of the general shape of what it looks like. And then I thought, you know, with the whole coal thing, they ran out of coal, so they had to resort to this. What happens when they run out of that, you know? And then I got the idea of Turgul. You know, obviously turtle, ghoul because it's a ghost, because it's dead, and like Turgul, you know? So, whoops, that's not where we want to go. Where do we want to go? Hold on. I guess I don't know why these are so out of order. So you got Turgul. So the idea is that this shell is all that comes out originally. Like you throw the Pokeball and just this shell goes in the dirt and clumps up, and then the arms emerge as ghostly appendages come out, and he's just like grips the ground as he comes out. And I just thought that was such a cool idea, because it's just an empty white shell, like if you've ever seen just a turtle shell bleached from the sun, kind of that vibe. Like I think I gave it like a weird Pokedex entry of like, it said the souls of 1,000 Torkoal are said to be stuck in the empty shell or something like that, and it's just, I thought it was really cool. Kind of like it goes extinct kind of thing and then comes back as a ghost ground, which I thought was pretty neat. Following that one, I think I did Pterodactyl. Because my buddy was like, what about a pre-evolved form of Aerodactyl? And I was like, yeah, I can do that. So I looked up the references that they used to make Aerodactyl, and it literally had a picture of a thing crawling on all fours with wings like this, and I'm like, that's perfect. And I did Pterodactyl because one, pterodactyl without the P and one R is literally pterodactyl the dinosaur, or whatever you want to call it, and Terra is actually ground, like that's what it means, is ground. I was like, so what if it was a rock ground and then evolved, like it starts with these little like leg wings and then learns to fly from that. So like it's a really fast runner, kind of like Archeops situation. It's a really fast runner and can slightly fly but not really, and then it learns to fly through that. And I thought this was a really cool design. The face I'm not crazy about, but it was the best I could do because I didn't want a baby Pokemon. That's what I see a lot of people like, I want a basic Pokemon, so they make it a baby. And I was like, I don't want a baby, I want a basic Pokemon, like something that you can just see out in the wild, and that you're not just like, well, that's a baby. Like this is a child almost, not a baby, but like a child or a teenager kind of looking thing. So I was actually really happy with this whole design. It's pretty cool. I just love the naming conventions too. Let's see. I'm a big fan of the Venomoth Butterfree theory, or the Venonat, the Venomoth Butterfree theory, that Venonat should have evolved into Butterfree and Caterpie should have evolved into Venomoth. If you haven't seen that, by all means look it up. So this is my adaptation of what Venonat should have been. Obviously Poison Psychic, because I mean, you don't see a Venomoth that doesn't have psychic moves. It's so weird to me that they made it not psychic. So I went ahead and gave it the puffy caterpillar vibe. Hold on, don't look at any of those yet. I kept the Venonat base, you know, and then just puffed out like a big fuzzy moth, you know, and gave it the Butterfree wings still, or the Butterfree antenna looking things, similar to Venonat. And then I gave it like these eye patterns that kind of, I don't know, I really like this design. It's cool. It could be improved on a little bit, but honestly, I think this is like the true, quote unquote, true Venonat evolution. I think that's really neat, as you can see from like the things, the crazy mop hair. I just love it. I love fuzzy moths, so I just had to. And then something I've always felt was that Psyduck evolved into Golduck, and everyone always thinks they're psychic. So I was like, well, what if I did give it a psychic? What would that look like? And then I thought like Psy, Golduck, and then I was like, what if I like heavily went into the Kappa, you know, it's got the hair, the bald spot kind of thing, took the Jewel and put that on top, increased, because it has increased psychic abilities, it no longer has to be athletic like Golduck. Like it kind of reverts more towards Psyduck, where it's big and fat, and this thing is huge, like huge. And I think I had, like in my original thought, like due to a lack of athleticism from gaining psychic powers, it actually just sits around and lets others do its bidding because it controls all of them with its mind. And so that's why it's so fat. And I based it basically on Buddha, and I named it Zen Duck. You know, have that three-letter word and Zen, and just look at that face. Just look at that face. Like you're gonna tell me you're not gonna say yes to that face? It's up to something. You just don't know what. And I kind of really like it. And again, with the color scheme, I just did from this color to this color, from this color to this color, using the same scaling. So that's how I got this pinkish color, because I think there are two ways you can do it in Photoshop. Is you can have like from this color to this color, it was from this color back to almost a yellowish orange, and I just didn't want it to go that one. I wanted to be a completely drastic color change again, and I really actually like this design. I kind of like it a lot. Let's see here. I think those are all of the ones that I did regional for. And then I had the idea to do a starter trio. So first up is the fire starter, Bovire, because at the time the fire zodiac theory was still fully intact. That has since been broken by Fuecoco, obviously. So I was like, what if I do an ox? And I always really wanted to do a minotaur. I mean, it's so played out. A lot of other people have done it other than me, so whatever, it's a common idea. So I just wanted to start with that, like a red yak baby cow. Bovine fire, that's where Bovire comes from. And it's just one of those really fuzzy red yaks, but fire, obviously. And then it evolves into Steariaki, which took me forever to come up with, and I'm still not crazy about the name, but it works, like steer, teriyaki as a type of flavoring for meats. And of course it's got like the bull, the classic bull ring, classic bull head, but it's also got like the emo phase where it's starting to get green highlights in its hair. It's starting to be a little edgier, like it's got that kind of teenage energy, like a lot of that's pretty common with the middle evolutions. And I love the design for it. It's so cool. And then that evolves into Flammable. So my idea was for the starters to gain the typing that they're strong against. So fire gains grass, grass gains water, water gains fire. I thought that was a really cool thing, because then it's all like checks and balances. So, you know, Flammable, the word flammable is literally can catch on fire, and he's a grassy bull with fire. He is literally a flammable bull. Flammable. I love it so much. It's so clever. But yeah, I gave him like dreadlocks, the classic steam coming out, little fire bracelets, like tufts of hair. It's the classic Minotaur look, but with like a... Originally I didn't have him having a vest of green or anything. It was just the loincloth draped over, but my friend was like, he needs something else. He just looks naked. I was like, alright, so I'll give him like a... He's like, what about a chainmail made of like leaves? I was like, yeah, I can try that. So he's got the braided things. And if you noticed with Steariaki, that's where the green highlights come in, is that it's actually kind of a clue as to what you're gaining. You know, you come into it and you're like, oh, that's weird, he's got green highlights because he's gaining the grass type. And I thought that was a pretty cool hint as to what it's going to be. And then here's all of them together in their respective sizes toward each other. So it's fire, 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 grass. I thought that was really cool. And then with the Minotaur, it actually gave me the idea, what if I made all three starters something from Greek mythology? So I heavily looked into, well, you'll see here in a minute, of what I decided to do. The next one up was the grass that eventually gained water. So this is Tropiguapo. So I wanted tropical iguana, and I couldn't figure out anything else, so I just thought, what about guapo, which is Spanish for handsome, which I just think is hilarious. And so here's what it is. It's basically just an iguana with a leaf, and then like instead of the frills, it's got giant banana leaves kind of hanging off of it. I'm not crazy about this one. Like, I like the overall design, but the head needs to be so much bigger to make it look more like a Pokemon. I struggled really a long time trying to get it to not just look like an iguana. Because iguanas just already look so bizarre. So I feel like if I had made the head of this one just a little bit bigger and more comically unproportionate, it would have looked a lot better. But the Tropiguapo name I kind of actually really like. And that evolves into Alligator, which is hilarious. So the leaves remain throughout, you know, it's got the little frills and everything. The head's bigger, as I needed it to be. And of course it's based on an alligator, and if you notice, it's got the webbed toes now, where it didn't before, signifying that it's going to gain the water ability. And of course this is an amphibious creature, being an alligator, with the algae growing on its nose and on its back. That's what that is. It's like algae moss growing on the back of it. Of course it's still got the big banana tail and things like that, and it's got the black and green coloring of it. I really like this line too. It's pretty cool. And finally, that goes to the Notosaurus. So there is a giant dinosaur called a Notosaur, and it looks just like a giant sea serpent. There's also I'm trying to think of what they're all called. It was something Greek mythology, a sea monster that looked literally like this. It had a dragon mouth, long neck, long body with a curled tail, and it just flowed so perfectly into what I was going for. And I named it Notosaur, in AU for like nautical. And then the Cetus, that's what it is, Cetus. The Cetus is the mythological sea dragon. And so of course I kept the banana leaves going all the way down. The scaling was really hard for this one, because just trying to get it all on one canvas so you could accurately see everything, and you'll see it when I get to the picture of all of them together. There it is. Of all of them together, it was hard to get this guy's way bigger than what he is, comparatively, but yeah, I just thought it was so cool, of a thing to have, like a grass thing. And again, this is the algae on its back. It's got like the red fins and everything, so it's fully aquatic, fully grass now. And I like the little tongue call back to the tropical guapo going bleh, and then he comes back to bleh. So if I could do this one again, I would have had his tongue out a little bit more. But yeah, you could definitely see how it transitions pretty smoothly into each one. I wish the tail was a little longer on Alligator. That probably would have made it a little bit better, because it goes from like long tail to a little bit more stubby to really long. So subtle changes here and there to this line, but overall I really enjoy it. It goes grass, 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 water, of course. And then the one that took me so freaking long, this is Shrimid. I originally wanted a shrimp water type, and I wanted a ghost shrimp, or so my idea was to have it like be a mud shrimp, and mud shrimp are stupid ugly to draw, and I've learned so many times that I cannot draw shrimp. So finally I had the idea, what if it's so small and unable to do anything on its own that it actually hides behind a ball of mud? And I was like, yeah, I could do that. That'd be really cool. So I have it like hugging this ball of mud, and it just worked from there. And it's that nice translucent blue color that most ghost shrimps are. And it took me forever to get the design of the face, but overall I'm really love this design. Just kind of like a timid shrimp with mud, which is why I named it Shrimid. So it works pretty well. And of course it evolves into Hermitian, which is a volcanic, so obsidian is like a lava rock, and then hermit crab, of course. This originally was going to be the first design, but then I couldn't figure out a middle evolution, so I decided to put the hermit crab as the middle. And you can see it goes from like this translucent blue to a nice deep royal purple color. And the idea behind it was that it's once it turns into evolution, once this ball of mud hardens over time, it's ready for evolution. It actually burrows into the thing and creates a home for itself. It was a little looser, but it leads into Volcanoes. So there is a Greek mythological crab called Karkanos, I think it was. I think it's Karkaros, something like that. And I knew I had to do a crab with a giant volcano on its back. A giant crab with volcano. And so volcano, Karkanos with the anos part, the Karkanos. originally I wanted to name it Cancanos, like Cancer as in the constellation crab, but then I was like, it doesn't work as well as Volcanos. So it goes from the deep purple to, oops, I don't know why I keep skipping to a time. It goes from like the deep purple to the purple that's turning into like a boiling red lobster kind of color. And you see the eyes getting just bigger and bigger with the mustache and whiskers. And if I could do it differently, I would have done the whiskers down on this guy and then kept it a little bit more in line with everything, but I did them in order. So, and of course it has the fire ability, so I always thought it'd be cool to have a special move for Volcanos as Lava Bubble. So it's like the move Bubble, but it can cause fire damage, and it'd be really cool. Originally I didn't have the bubbles, but my co-workers and friends were like, you really need to add something. They're like, something needs to be coming out of the top, and I was like, what about bubbles? So I kind of did that thing to it. It actually looks really cool. I like it a lot. And that, I think, is all of my Fakemon that I've done so far. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool to come up with ideas and really figure out naming things, and especially for regional variants of like, why would they do this? Why would they turn into this instead? And things like that. And I greatly enjoy it, and I have a list ongoing of all the different things that I'm gonna do. I plan to have a regional variant of Hoot Hoot and Poliwag, and I have a whole idea for a number of different things that I want to do that I'll save for another video. And I want to do a regional variant of Snubble and Granbull to base it more for its original inspiration of like a fey dog. And I have a lot of ideas, and once I get all those done, it could be months from now, it probably will be, I'll do another one of these if you guys like them, and we can look over them together, and I'll go over my designs. And yeah, like I said on the other two, I plan to have a Deviant Art at this point with all of these images. Feel free to share them around, get my name out there, and to let people know that I like doing this kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun. And it's hard to get recognized for this kind of stuff, but I think I do a pretty good job. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy this. Let me know in the comments. Please let me know if you have ideas for anything. You know, the usual stuff. You know, I don't ask very often, but if you can, like the video, leave a comment and subscribe, because I have a very low subscriber count, and I feel like I work my butt off for those subscribers. I mean, I don't try to like beg for anything. I don't go to bother other people's channels and things like that. I just kind of stick to myself, because this is a fun hobby for me. So if you guys enjoy this and want to see more, or enjoy anything that I've put on this channel at this point, like, let me know. I want to know what's popular. There's not the few but mighty, you know. Just let me know what you like about the channel, what you don't like, and we're all gonna have fun together, you know. I like to have a good time. So until then, till the next video, bye bye.